Okay, so here's another one of my favorite topics. The reason we spent so much time on all of those exponent rules is now we're going to really use them. We're going to talk about polynomials. And the first thing with polynomials we're going to do is add and subtract them. Later on, we're going to get into even more fun with them when we multiply them and factor them. Again, one of my favorite things to do. This is truly an exercise in thinking. This isn't one of those like, oh, I'm going to use this every day kind of things. This is truly algebra. This is truly thinking. So the first term we have then is monomial, and the what that means, let's see right here, is a number, a variable, or a product of numbers and variables, or one or more variables. So no negative exponents, right, or variables in the denominators, also known as a term, no addition or subtraction. Got that? Very important. These are all good examples of monomials, as in single, mono, one. We were able to determine the degree of a monomial. So this is another term you know called the degree. It's the sum of the exponents of its variables. So here, exponent, we can see the variable is 1. Again, of the variables. So the degree is 1, so this is degree 1. Here, again, not the constants, the variables. Degree 3, degree 2, add together, degree 5. So the degree of this monomial is 5. Now, please be sure, I'm not saying add x cubed and y squared, because that's dumb, we can't do that. But we're just adding the exponents to determine the degree. That's all we're doing. It has no other purpose other than, hey, what's the degree of this? Oh yeah, 5. You can't do anything else with it. Here, degree is 0 because there's no exponent. Anything to the 0 power is 1, so it's like, x to the 0 power or 1 being multiplied by 4. So the degree of this is 0. Another term we have is polynomials. We had monomial, we have polynomial. A monomial, or a sum of monomials. General term for this entire concept. Poly means many. Prefixes indicate number of terms. Okay? And we'll talk about that in a few moments on a chart I've got for you. But degree of each monomial here, right? So just by the way, so this right here is an example of a polynomial. Okay? This is an example of a polynomial. And we'll talk about what the degree means here in just a second. The standard form of a polynomial. We had standard form of linear equations, all these things, right? This has a standard form too, and I'm really strict on that. I think you guys know that by now. You might have figured out that when I say that, I really do mean it. So the degree of the monomials that comprise the polynomial are written in descending order from left to right. If there's more than one variable, then the order is alphabetical and descending order. So here we have 3x to the 4th, 5x squared, negative 7x to the 1, and then obviously the constant at the end. So again, descending order and alphabetical as well. Standard form of a polynomial. And when I ask for an answer on something, always assume I want standard form unless I tell you otherwise. So if you wrote this out of order, like 5x squared plus 3x to the 4th, I'd count it wrong. Now then, how to determine the degree of a polynomial? And this is a nice chart to put into your notes. The degree of the term is the start that over. The degree of the term with the greatest degree. Okay, so we can agree here. The degree here is going to be 0, right? No variables. The degree here, this is 0, right? There's 1 here, so the degree is 1. It's the largest one. By the way, this is called a binomial. Okay, binomial. Then we have 2, right? Then this is called a quadratic, by the way. And we're going to factor these. These are really fun. Anyway, the degree here is 2. You don't take the 2 here and the 1 here and add them. We say whichever term has the highest degree determines the overall degree. And again, so this one's called a trinomial, 3, right? Then we have cubic. So this one's cubed, right? And it's 3rd degree, by the way. Number of terms is 1 here. So technically a monomial, but it's a cubic monomial. You may should go back up here. This is linear equation, right? But it's a binomial. This is a quadratic equation, but it's a trinomial. This one down here is to the 4th degree. We don't have a fancy name for that, sorry. But notice it is a trinomial, 1, 2, 3 here, right? The degree, this is 4 because the term with the highest degree overall is 8x to the 4th, making this whole thing to the 4th degree technically. Okay? I'd write that down if I were you. So just to clarify again, a binomial is the sum of two monomials. In the example here, we're going to use this one from the middle here. Sum of two monomials. This one's clearly going to be linear. It is a binomial. Sum of two monomials. Sum. That's what determines the monomial trinomial thing. And then lastly, this term is trinomial. The sum of three monomials. Again, so monomial, 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 trinomial. Quadratic because of this quadratic equation. This one's a monomial, but it's cubic because of the third. This one's a trinomial because there's 3, but it's the 4th degree because of the 4 here. So there's multiple things I can ask you about each of these, and guess what I'm going to do on my quiz and test? Ask you about those, right?